Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to this channel. We really do appreciate. And again, we are here to encourage girls to pursue science and technology, and we're here to showcase other role models that are pursuing STEM. And what is STEM again? STEM simply means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So we are here to showcase other role models, and we're also here to make sure the girls can understand what careers are in STEM, and also they can get acquaintances with so many technology and just so many things that people talk about, especially in STEM. And on this platform, this is where we showcase all these ideas. We showcase these more role models that share with us a lot of insight. So, guys, today I'm so excited. I have a very interesting. I have a very interesting three interesting role models. So I'm going to start with one of the role model guys. Her name is Tehila Nampasa. Oh my God, guys, these ladies have been wanting to speak to them for a long time. But you know what? Engineers are always busy, either students or, even if they're just trying to get into work, they're always busy. There's so much to do all the time. But guys, without wasting so much time, I'm so excited. And make sure, guys, you can engage us. Put some comments there, engage, ask questions. If it's for me, it's for Tehila, engage her, guys, so we can find out who is she, what is she doing. So without wasting so much time, let me bring her up right away, guys. Hi, Tahila. Thank you so much for coming. I really do appreciate. I'm so excited to have you. So let's dive into it. So, share with my viewers, what are you doing? Who are you, Tahila?
Thank you so much for finally having me. I know I've been postponing this for a long time from last year, busy, but I'm finally here. Tehila is a software engineer, graduated last month on the 26th with a merit, actually, the only female with a merit. Yeah.
Wow,
So I'm a software engineer.
wow, wow. Interesting. So you were the only female in the class?
No, we were six girls. That was the only
Okay.
one with a merit. Yes.
Wow, six girls out of how many boys?
The boys might have been 21 or 18 between the two. I'm not really sure.
Wow. Guys, you see why we need women in STEM? So many products are being made, so many decisions are being made, and as women, we are not on the table. And to encourage other women and girls, this is to showcase how these women are in STEM. And, just listen to the technical language that she speaks. So, Tehila, thank you so much for that introduction. I would like to understand. So, how did you get into STEM? First, before we go there, are you a student or you just graduated? Can you tell us more about that?
I graduated last month, but I actually started working last year.
Yes,
I was working with the department. Yeah, the HOD actually he's always seen something in me. Like he's always seen that
yes,
I'm smart. So from like second year, he's always told me you need to stop being lazy. So last year in my final year, he added
yes,
me to a project for the university. That's UNZA. Yeah, the
yes,
mighty UNZA. So he added me to the project, and I was working as a software engineer, but as an intern. So he wanted to
yes,
teach me all the areas of software engineering before I actually go into the industry.
yes.
Yes, so I joined that project for Zema. We were making a registry for Zema. That's like from last year, January to actually this year, March. So I
Mhm.
was working as an intern. But then this year, January, I started working as a software engineer for Digitron.
Wow, wow. And would you love to share a little bit what they do where you work? Of course, not go into details or rub on those sensitive areas. What do they really do so that kids can have fun? For example, I'll tell you, I work for space missions where we make hardware structures that deploys in space. So that's kind of interesting to most kids, maybe some kids. So sometimes they also need to hear what other ventures can they go in. What do they really do where you are working right now?
Digitron is a startup company that started last year in November. digital deals with software, software design. We deal with web development. We deal with a lot of things that have to do with software. Yeah, actually. So we engineer systems that were not properly made and turn them into good software. So we are just actually problem solvers actually, but then with software or with technology at the core of everything.
Wow, wow, that's interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that. So now, Tehila, I'll take you back when you were young, when you were little, because most parents, most kids, most people are asking, how do these engineers become engineers? How do these doctors become doctors? What happens in their life? What's going on? What kind of environment do they have? So, what's happening when you're 5 years old or 6, 7? Are your parents talking about science and technology? Your neighbors? Or let me drink something. So, are your parents talking about science? Your neighbor? What's going on? What makes you start trying to love STEM? Could you share with my viewers?
Actually, for me, it's actually a different whole story. Both my parents didn't actually make it out of like, is it secondary school? Yeah,
Yes,
I think my ended that was grade 12, but I don't think he wrote his final exams. And for my mom, she stopped school, I think in grade 9. Back
yes.
in the day, we would get married early. So for me, I didn't have inspiration from my parents. And so what actually inspired me to actually go into STEM is actually to change my background for myself and actually set an example as the first one. Yes.
Oh
So,
my God, yes.
yeah, so for me, everything just stems up to being a better person and to actually show my siblings to say we could actually make a difference. We could actually break generational cases. We could actually do better for ourselves. Because I'm actually the first one to actually graduate from Onza in my family. Yes,
First college,
engineering.
what do they call them here? They say first college, first college family or something like. Wow, that's so inspiring. And last weekend, I was also talking to one engineer who's also a first person to graduate from their family. Amazing. This is just amazing, especially for people watching and kids, mothers, to see that there's always the first time. And you can change the narrative, you can change the background and what's going on in your family. And let me also point out that engineering, especially in STEM, when you get into STEM, you change lives around you because not to underestimate other careers, but just that skill that you get and that how you encourage those around you, including your kids, your relatives, and anyone you see, because you have that understanding of saying, like, you can go higher and higher. So thank you so much for sharing. So nothing is happening concerning you. You're just curious, right? What about if you get to high school? What's going on there? When are you thinking about pursuing STEM? For example, I'll tell you my background. I used to play with my brother. My brother used to make cars using hang wires and also ifimumbwa, making babies. Those who don't understand ifimumbwa is um, toys made out of clay soil. So we did that, me and my brother, a lot. And I would follow him, So I didn't know I was being wired at that time. So what's going on with you? 7, 8, 9, 10, what's going on?
7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe basically, I think grade 3, grade 4, not yet in I think not yet in secondary school. I'm still in primary school. That's
Yes.
like grade 3, grade 4. So,
Mm-hmm.
there, my dream is to become a journalist. Nothing to do with science. Yeah, my dream is
Yes.
to become a journalist. Uh, Fast forward to grade 7. I write my grade 7. I make it to St. Mary's, that's Livingstone, one of the
Yes.
best schools for girls, actually. I make it to St. Mary's and I get there, that's the whole girls' school. I'm in 8A, and my performance, as usual, I'm always performing top of the class or second. If I'm always lazy. Okay, actually, I would point out that which I'm trying to work on.
That's
My
so
lecturer
fun.
always says I'm very smart, but they like are lazy. So I'm trying to work on that, which is my weakness, and
Yes.
inconsistency and procrastination. So I'm in grade 8, grade 9, not really too much interested into school. maybe because I'm smart, I understand things. But my teacher would always say, Taylor, you need to do medicine because he sees
Yes.
me being expert in chemistry and biology. That's grade
Yes.
10, I think, 10, grade 11. So from there, I got to Twin Palm I think that's for my secondary school. I think grade 10 to grade 12. I
Yes.
made top best students. That's for the overall school, grade 12.
Yes.
Yes, and my teachers tried to talk to me to tell me, no, you have to go pursue engineering or pursue medicine. I'm still not into that. My mind still says no. Fast forward, we're done with that. Results come out for grade 12. I get 7 points, but 5 in 5, I get best five. So
Yes.
I'm enrolled into MS first year. Still
Uh-huh.
not decided what I want to do.
Yes.
Because when I wanted to apply under humanities, my uncle and my mom says, no, you're too smart for that. You know how it is in Africa. Your parents
In
tell you
Africa,
apply for this, the ones who are paying school fees for you. So I'm
those are
like,
the ones you
what will
follow.
I study? What will I study? I mean, first year, the professor who was taking me in physics tells me, Taylor, I have to do engineering. I'm like, but that's not what I like. But he's like, no, yeah, so good at it, which has always been the case. I've always been good at the sciences, more than the social sciences, but not that I love them or anything like that. So fast
Yes.
forward from first year, second year, I find myself applying under computer science, or actually forgot a part. When I think 2016, after my high school, I was at Just Omale. I went to do a ICT course. Yes. So I'm there. I meet Isaac Malemelo, a lecturer there for ICT. And then
Yes.
we're there. Yeah, you know how ICT courses are. You do some internet things, some
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft, things like. So this man from there calls me on the side and says, "Hi, Tehila. Hi." I'm like, "Hi, I'm fine. I'm good." Because like I've been watching you and you need to go do computer science.
Wow.
So I'm like, what do you mean I need to go do computer science? So I'm curious now. I'm like, what's this computer science he talks about? I would actually, he would, I like, my whole career, I think I need to be grateful to him because even in the times before I actually chose or picked computer science as my major in second year, he would like,
Yes.
oh, ask how am I doing? How is my software guru doing? Things like that. And I'm like,
Yes.
what do you mean? It's like all my life, I have had that problem of whereby I have got self-doubt. I doubt myself and I'm not as confident in myself, but it's like everybody else and everyone who's ever taught me would actually call me a genius or call me a guru, which is why I don't understand. So I feel like that's been my weakness. So you would always like do that even in first year. Actually, 2 weeks
Yes.
before I actually my major, they would call me, how is it software? How is it going? My software guru and things like that. So fast forward, I picked it as my major in second year. And so the thing with me is I really loved chemistry. I think amongst all the science courses. So it was really kind of a struggle for me in second year, trying
Yes.
to, get myself acquainted with computer science courses like programming. So I'm in second year and I see these boys telling me, no, they've been programming since 2016, since 2010, and I'm completely new to this.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh my God, what will I do? So I was kind of not okay. That was like the first 2 months in computer science. But then
Mm-hmm.
I kept trying my best. I had days where I would break down because I feel I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
And you see these boys who are like doing better than you. We're doing our
Mm-hmm.
labs and things like that. Like the first lab we did, I think I'd scored like a 90. Okay, I've always wanted to get everything and everything. Like when I'm writing an assessment or something. I was really
Yes.
shocked that I did that because there's a guy who was teaching me that, like helping me do the programming. Yeah, Gavin Lasagna. I had a friend who was like trying to help me when I'm feeling bad. Like, no, Taylor, you're really smart. Just keep pushing. Wherever you need help, come to me. I'll
Yes.
help
Come
you.
on. Mm.
Yeah, come, I'll help you because you know how it is. The boys, like the boys' course, and then everyone else, like amongst
Yeah.
all my friends, I didn't know anyone who was my friend who was in that course who was a girl. So all the other girls were just people I met there.
Yeah.
And so it was, you know how you have those setbacks where you say, no, this is a boys' course. When I'm complaining to my mom, she's like, no, she didn't really understand. And I understand, so okay, no, she didn't know what this is. I explained to her just to have someone to talk to. Fast forward, we go. I'm having my second lab assessment. My lecturer, who was actually my supervisor in my final year, Dr. Mayumbo Nyerenda, he
Mm-hmm.
would called me out and told me, I really like how you think. You're very smart, but then you should
Yes.
stop being lazy. He's actually been scolding me from second year. He's like, stop being lazy, Tehila, you're very smart. So I didn't understand. I'm like, how? When I
Uh-huh.
actually feel, because that time I scored 75 out of 100 from that
Yeah.
lab assessment. program. That was my second lab assessment. I'm like, but look, I got 75, and the other people who had better than me got like, no, you are very smart, and I need you to see it. Stop being lazy. And
Yes.
then forward, we keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. As I'm struggling, trying to learn from my fellow friends who are guys, because I used to
Mm-hmm.
actually play with more than the girls actually. So I'd play with them so that I understand more. Because
Yes.
actually, most of
Yes.
my friends who are girls were lazy. You know how it is, like
Yeah.
just I'll just copy and whatnot. So I'd really like go to the guys. They explain things to me and things like that. And then afterwards, write assessment. I emerged top of the class. Actually, I think in second year I was actually the top for the whole thing. My lecturer actually told me you actually topped the whole stream
Yes.
for the second year, both boys and girls. I was actually the top, and I didn't know it when I was actually struggling. I wanted to give up. I actually wanted to change and actually just go to humanities. That's me. So fast forward, we move there. Third year, we have COVID hit us. We are home. A lot of struggles, but
Wow.
we're finally here.
You know, your story, you hit so many important points that you've just mentioned here. You've mentioned how you are being encouraged by your teacher. And that's what we always talk about here. When you see a kid trying to figure out things, they're asking questions, help them because that's an indication. So your teacher could see those things that were resonating with him. That meant that you can do it. And that's what I think, most of parents need to see and those around us. I've got engineers here who have come to testify, a neighbor telling them that you are very smart. You can be an engineer. Right now, he's an engineer. Can you imagine? So those are very, very good points. And oh my God. And some things that you said also resonated with me, especially when you doubt yourself. And before I went, for example, for me, before I went and did my STEM career, at a later age, and people get surprised that I did my STEM after 40. So I review my age now. You guys can figure out. So I did my STEM after 40, and my friends were telling me that, you know what, my friends from home, from Zambia, a long time ago, they said, you used to be very like a just bypass thing. You used to be very good in math. I said, me? What do you mean me? At yes, you used to get always higher than everybody else. I didn't know that. Then you know what? That stuck with me. I said, what? Why did she say that? Guess what I did? I said, I'm gonna go take some prerequisites at a community college here in the United States. I went and did that. Guess my results. I passed to go into calculus one. I could not believe it. So
So
what am I trying to say? Yeah, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, actually, teachers, lecturers, friends around, they actually play a very big role into actually making us who we are. So they
They
say
do.
that is why they actually say your environment actually contributes to who you are. You actually have to choose your environment right. So I feel like if more lecturers could actually encourage, like they should have maybe a program that they actually maybe sit down and actually encourage students who they
Yes.
see as lucky. Sometimes
Or
someone may be
struggling.
performing well, maybe because they feel maybe they have no one at home. Like I said, for me, I had no inspiration to draw from at home, you see. So
Yes.
I feel like the other students or other pupils, those in high school who have no inspiration back from home or
Yeah.
their families. So it's important if maybe those lecturers, like I said, for me, Dr. Maimbo Nyerenda, like that man he really played a very big role in my life. Isaac Malemelo, Gabeni Lozani, a friend of mine would always tell me, Tella, you're really smart, stop giving up. And other friends like Chalichi Buana, there's also Isabel, those guys, like they would actually encourage me to say, no, you're smart. Yes, you have this and that, but then you can do this. So we actually need those friends, as you said, like had your
Wow.
friends
You know,
encourage you after 40.
yes, yes. Oh my God, you've touched very, very important points. We really need that because sometimes, and this, you've loaded in your sharing, you've loaded so many information. You've talked about challenges that we go through even as women. And scientifically, they say that women, we need that notch of saying, a pat at the back, somebody telling you can do this. Boys are created differently. They just got it by themselves. But us women, we just need that notch, a little bit of pat at the back, just to tell you that. And it's true what you're saying, that we need to have some kind of a program that can just encourage kids, because we have challenges. We do go through challenges, and we need somebody to tell you that even if you failed today, you got this. And for example, for myself, I didn't have a role model. I didn't have anyone who looks like me, who looked like me, who is actually working. So that was very difficult for me. When I'm studying, I'm like, what am I gonna be? Will this even matter? What am I gonna, and then people outside, they are saying something like, we're running for you. I'm like, please don't tell me that, because all I see is a mountain in front of me. I don't want to hear that. So you really hit so many good points, and thank you so much for sharing. I hope teachers I can listen to this, professors can listen to this, universities, schools, that they can put programs, because we're coming from different backgrounds. Remember, we're coming from maybe a poor environment. We're not all coming from normal, normal places. Here in United States, they try to actually identify those students that are coming from those areas, to give them a notch. Wow, thank you so much. You guys watching, please engage us, make a comment, feel free. There's a place where you can comment, ask the healer some questions. I know you have some questions. Ask me, ask us. Here, we are here. So wow, that's really interesting. So Tehila, what would you say to a girl growing up out there in Shangombo, Kazungula, some deep in Porokoso, in Chozi? Remember, I actually went to Mwenzo Girls in Chozi. What would you say to a girl growing up there who is so mesmerized by a plane passing through in the sky, which I was? I remember when we were at the farm with my dad, I could see planes. I wondered, will I ever get on that plane? How is it made? How do they make them? My brain wondered. So what would you tell to a girl growing up in those areas? How can they pursue STEM?
I think to a girl growing up, as you said, in those areas, all I would really just want to say is that they need to explore their curiosity. Like, even if they say curiosity killed the rat or a cat, I don't know which one
Yes,
is which. Uh, explore the
yes,
curiosity, because what actually made me get to where I am is actually
yes,
curiosity. I think I was so curious to actually know about all these things. Like, what are these things that these people talk about? And
yes,
then also, what I would say to those people growing up in those areas is that never let your is it your current situation determine where you're going to go in life. You don't let your
yes,
environment change who you are. No matter what, you can always do anything that you set your mind to. Don't think just because you're in the village right now you cannot come and become this next big thing. See stories of people who've actually really made it, and don't be
yes,
scared, like, to challenge the societal norms, saying no, girls can't do this. Just because you come from the village, you can't do. See, even our presidents, some of them, if you hear their stories, you see where they come from. They come from very, very poor backgrounds. But
yes.
then, yes, those are men. But all I'm just trying to say is that don't let societal norms like keep you stagnant or just be where you are just because you're there or what. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Like, do anything it takes for you to be in a better place. I
Wow,
think that's
thank you for that advice. And it's true, there are so many resources nowadays. Like, of course, this platform, and watch the healer's space. She was a student, and now she's working. So you can watch her life story that she has shared here, and see, look at these role models that they are in STEM. Look at role models that we always showcase on this channel. They are in STEM. So can you do this as well? Wow, thank you so much, Tehila. And please, I'll give you 1 minute, 2 minutes. What would you want to say to Girls for STEM here on this platform? And anyone watching you, anyone, whoever your role model is, whatever, I give you some few minutes to talk about that.
First and foremost, actually, in as much as I said yes, Dr. Marimbo Nyirenda played a very big role in my whole career. Yes, he's always there scolding me as a father, and what, like everything else. There's always God who I would always talk to, but then there's always that figure, that woman figure that you need to draw an inspiration from. And so there's a woman Her name is Mrs. Kavemba. She's actually only two women in our department who were lecturers. I think Mrs. Kumar was not there as much. She just used to teach us in one course. But Mrs. Kavemba, I just really loved how she would manage work, as she would manage like balanced life. You know how a woman, she's like organized, like the most organized lecturer I've ever come across in my life. Always make it on time, always teach the topics a month before exams, everything else. And so for me, it was always like, it's actually possible to actually be a woman, be in
Mm-hmm.
STEM, be actually good, because she's actually good at what she does. Honestly speaking, out that was actually one of the reasons why I actually started working hard in second year. Because like, how am I even studying hard for what? And I can just get it, just be an average student. So there is Dr. Nyirenda playing a very big role with his stick, always talking like he's scolding me, trying to raise me right as a child. And then now there I see a picture of where I want to be. Like, okay, now I'm understanding. No, I say, okay, no, Dr. Marimbo Nyirenda is doing this. He wants the best for me. And then I
Mm-hmm.
see Mrs. Karimba making the picture clear for me to say, okay, yeah, it's actually possible to be a woman and excel in
Yes.
this field. You see how they say there are not a lot of women who is here, but no software engineers doing really good. It's
Mm-hmm.
just men. Even the department, you could just tell how the department has over 10 male lecturers and only 2 female lecturers. And
Mm-hmm.
then she's like my role model. So she would give me this desire to say, let me study hard, let me be like her. So in her classes or when she's taking me in a course, I would really make sure I study to make her proud. And then I had a
Yes.
conversation with her actually one time. And she's like, Taylor, I need you to enroll for this. It's like, why? I don't think I can make it. She's like, no, Taylor, you're very smart. And then from that time, that's the time I actually decided to open up to her and tell her how she's been an inspiration to me, how she's actually been the one who's actually motivated me to actually work hard and actually make sure I actually like reach my targets, because I really didn't know with this GPA that Uza started using if I would
Yes.
actually make it a merit or not. Last year I really had to work extra hard to the point of where I had to make sure my lowest grade is a B plus and actually earn myself an A plus from Unze, and that was my project, which is actually not easy.
Wow.
So all I would say to girls out there pursuing STEM is that you should always like look for, like, there are always role models around you. There's always a role model somewhere, somehow, and I'm really grateful to God that I had Mrs. Karimba for me in our department to play that role. And find yourself a mentor. It's really important to have yourself a mentor, because a mentor is there to guide you. Yes, you might have your vision and whatnot, but then along the way you meet these challenges. But if you find a mentor in your field, when you meet those challenges, they'll be able to explain to you, maybe because they went through something similar. So for me, I had a mentor to mentor me. I actually had over 3 mentors. I
Wow.
had Richard Mwawa. I think he's now back in Zambia. He was in the USA. He's actually from the department as well. He actually graduated with a distinction. He was my mentor. He is still my mentor, but he actually played a very big role in terms of my final year project that I'm actually really proud of. I didn't think I would actually make that project work. So I also had Isaac Malemelo as a mentor. I had Jordan Sichaloe. I think you've heard of him. He works for Microsoft. Now he was also from our department. So I had 3 mentors mentoring me in different areas of my career. Maybe because each of them went through different things, and maybe something that I went through, maybe each of them would help me in a certain way. So have
Wow.
yourself a mentor, find a role model, pray to God. For me, I can say my whole life is a miracle. So pray to God, have good friends. What I can say is that don't fear, don't doubt yourself. You can do anything you set your mind to. Just because you're a woman, that should not limit you. You can challenge all the societal norms that people place or put in place. Don't let your environment limit you. Don't let anybody limit you. Even if your own relatives actually tell you you can't do it, or your own parents, because I've heard stories of people telling me, no, your parents tell them, you can't do this, you can't make it just because you're not smart enough. You get? You should always be positive, like always find a way to defy the odds. But I don't think being common as everyone else does it makes you any different. You can actually defy the odds in your family, in your group, where you're friends, or at your church, or anything. So yeah, just believe in yourself, and you will make it. It's actually
Wow.
possible.
Wow. You are amazing, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. We really do appreciate. And you know what I can tell you, Tehila? mentors, all those mentors, they go on until you, I don't know, you will still consult them. My mentors, I still speak to them. Even when I'm about to get any other job, I ask them, how should I do this? Up to today. And they still, some of them are my professors. They still ask me now to say, how did you apply for that job? What did you go through? Can you share with my students? Can you imagine? So that relationship goes a long way, and it's a very good, healthy relationship where you have those mentors ministering in your life because you will forever need them. Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. And we so we hope we can have you again. Would like to see your space, how it's going. It looks like, it will be a flourish space. And of course, software coding has got so many things of it. Our next topic, I'm going to call some ladies of software and also in manufacturing and mechanical, so we can talk about, just to preempt you, vehicle to vehicle communication technology. I'm sure you've heard about that they're trying to eliminate a lot of fatal accidents, and now they're trying to see how vehicles can communicate, right? I hope that will be a very interesting topic. So I'll bring a lot of ladies who just come and kill ourselves right here to discuss the advantages, disadvantages, and also other men. Thank you so much. Please stick around. If you have a question, please continue commenting. You can either stay in the studio or you can watch from anywhere, from YouTube or from the studio. It doesn't matter. Thank you so much, Tahira, and hope all the best for you. And we hope you can come soon on this channel again.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Wow, guys, that was interesting. I hope you liked her story and what she was saying. That was just so inspiring. And it also, when I talk to these amazing women of valor, it just makes me, oh my God, my eyes just glow. It's amazing to see them talk about this and just to resonate with me what I went through as well. Oh my God. Guys, I have another one. This woman, I've been trying to speak to her, but finally I got her, guys. Her name is Kutemwa Mwandila. Before we even waste time, guys, let's bring her up right away. Hi, Kutemwa. How are you? Thank you so much
Hi.
for coming. I'm so excited.
Thank you so
Thank you
much
for
for
coming.
having
Thank you
me.
for having you.
Finally here. Yes. So my
Wow.
name is Kutemwa. Hi
Yes.
everyone that's watching.
Wow.
Yes.
So, Kutemwa, thank you so much for coming to Girls for STEM as a role model. Oh my God, I'm just so flattered that you had time to come. I know you, engineers, scientists, doctors are so busy, but to have time to come and share with the girls, those trying to come into STEM is really, really important for me. I really do appreciate.
Mhm.
So, Kutemwa, tell us, what are you doing today, and who are you?
Okay. Well, for starters, I would like to comment on something that you said earlier, that
Yes.
you started doing your STEM at 40. I really think life begins at 50, so you're still young.
Tell me about
Yeah.
it. Yes,
Yeah, and I'm
yes.
really happy for you. That's really good. Job well done.
Wow, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So my name is Kutemwa Mwandila, and I'm a graduate engineer at First Quantum Minerals, specifically Kansanshi Mine. I work as a graduate electrical engineer, and I've been here for over a year now.
Yes.
So currently in Solwezi. Yes. So I don't know if there is more to that. Would you want me to go through my background, how I started?
Yes. So, how did you start your STEM? Let's go when you were little. What's going on in your life? This question, guys, I'll never get tired with it because it's we want to see what's going on in these people's lives. How do they become engineers? How was Kutemwa's life? Who is around her? Are the parents talking about STEM on the table when they're eating? Does she have a relative, a doctor, or somebody like that? Why do we ask this question? Because we want to relate. People want to relate. How do these people become enter into STEM? So share with my viewers.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. Well, what I can say is I was a little girl, just like any other child. You
Yes.
know, I was just like any other kid. Every great person is just like any other child brought up in a home, in a community, surrounded by different people.
Mm-hmm.
So I have grown up with a family. I've lived with my parents, and I have three brothers, and
Yes.
I'm the only girl. I'm the last born. Yeah. So my growing up was really interesting. I had quite some bumps along the way.
Yes.
I think my mom noticed my strength in mathematics and science from a very
There
young
you
stage.
go.
So I really think STEM is something that people are born with naturally. They're just naturally good at it. And it depends on a person whether to decide to be passionate about it or not to be passionate about it. But I think I chose to be passionate about it. It's the only thing that pretty much excited me almost every single day. So I think I'll run away from the nursery and primary because I don't remember quite much there.
Yes.
But when I talk about my primary school, at some point things got a little bit tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was found with some sort of a hearing problem. So when I was diagnosed with that, they told me that I needed to have an operation
Mm-hmm.
because I was like slowly becoming deaf. I was not able to get people as clearly as I used to. But
Yes.
as time went by, the operation was successful. I got better, though
Mm-hmm.
not to 100%. Yes, because as of today, I'm actually wearing hearing aids. Like on a normal
Yes.
basis, I put on hearing aids. Yes, so that really affected me growing up because some kids thought they should keep away from me because of the
Mm-hmm.
very fact that I had an operation, and
Mm-hmm.
that sort of brought down my self-esteem.
Yes.
But as time went on, I made a friend. Her name
Mm.
is Joy Chamtemba. She was such a brilliant girl. She was
Yes.
really, really smart. It would either be Joy Chamtemba or Kutema Mandila in class. Joy Chamtemba or Kutema Mandila all the time.
Yes.
And it was so good that after grade five, one of the teachers identified us and said, no, I think these two can actually go straight to grade seven without passing through grade six.
Yes.
And if I recall well, you were having a chat with Pupet Kumbi not so long ago, where she said we have three sets of exams in Zambia. We have the grade
Yes.
seven, the grade nine, and the grade 12. Yes.
Correct.
So at grade seven, I performed really well. I think I was the second best performer. And
Wow.
among girls, I
Mm-hmm.
was the highest with 837 marks.
Wow. Wow.
So,
Wow.
yes, it was quite exciting, especially for my parents.
Yes.
And what I loved about my primary school is that, and that is Palmer Private School. What I
Correct.
really loved about that school is they have a way of encouraging the children. They have a way
Mm-hmm.
of bringing up their self-esteem. We used to sing songs which say, believe you are the best, believe that you can do
Wow.
it. We
Yes.
also used to get this speech from one of my teachers, Mr. Kalonde. Mr. Kalonde, I think, taught us the three P's. He said, make sure you know the three P's in life. The three P's are pound, play, and pray. Pound, play, and pray. So when he said pound, he meant that we should study, take time to study. Don't spend time doing things that are
And
not quite.
which Mr. Kalonde is that?
Unfortunately, I don't remember the first name, but he was quite a good teacher. He would discipline me so much. I don't remember
I
his
have
name.
I know a Mr. Kalonde, friend of ours. He's a professor in engineering here in the United States.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Then I would have to probably see if he is the one or not. But last I
Yeah.
checked, he was at a private school. Yeah. He was amazing. You know, he would really discipline us. If you don't come back to school with your homework signed and everything, he'll make
Yes.
you kneel down and maybe use a whip or something. He was
Yes.
very, very good. Before we sit down, after greeting him, he'll make sure that he asks us a set of questions. So you
Hmm.
don't sit down until you answer a question correctly. So there
Wow.
was so much discipline there. And I think it really made me become a better performer, as well as having a friend that was there for me at the
And
time.
what school was that?
Palmer Private School.
I'm
Palmer
sorry?
Private School. Palmer, like a palm tree.
Oh,
Palmer.
Palma. Okay. Yes.
Yes, private school. It should be in Kamala South.
Mm.
And then my mom was also really there for me. She would always encourage me. Sometimes I would go to her crying, telling her, no, my friends are laughing at me. They're laughing at me because of this and that. But she was always there for me. She told me, never mind what your friends do. Don't mind
Mm-hmm.
what people say about you. You went
Yes.
there for school, so just focus on school and then
Yes.
get done with it. So at grade 8 and
Mm-hmm.
9, I was at Kasisi Girls
Okay.
Secondary School.
Yes.
That is where I also met Vupe.
Okay.
Yes. So she was
Yes.
quite nice. She was quite nice. Sometimes I had very low self-esteem when I was there. My friend Joy wasn't there for me anymore. But
Yes.
Vupe sometimes would tell me, Kutemwa, don't allow people to push you around.
No. No.
Be
Yes.
confident. Do this. You
Mm-hmm.
can do it. You can make it in school. And with all that encouragement from her and other friends, of course, I was an excellent performer in mathematics.
Yes.
Mathematics was one of my best. It's still my favorite subject till this day. Even if it's so, so bad, I really enjoy mathematics. I don't know why, but I really enjoy mathematics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I performed well at grade 9 and went to David Kaunda National
Mm-hmm.
Technical School.
Wow.
At David Kaunda, it was quite interesting because this was like the first time in a while that I was entering a core school. And this core school had more boys than girls. So you could imagine.
I can imagine the intimidation now comes in.
Exactly. So there were so many boys and just very few girls, and actually selected classes where there were more girls than boys. So my time at David Kaunda was quite interesting.
Okay.
Um, I went there in grade 10. I can say I was an above average performer. I won't really say excellent, but I started to become an excellent performer when I was in grade 11. I
Wow.
don't know, for some reason, I just said, no, I'm going to up my game on this. I'm going to become an excellent performer in school. And I
Yes.
started studying really, really hard. Then I didn't quite enjoy computer science like my
Uh-huh.
friend Tehila. I believe Tehila is an expert there now.
She's an expert.
Yes. I didn't quite enjoy computer science as an option, so I dropped it. But
Mm-hmm.
I decided to take additional mathematics, and that was at grade 11, term 3.
Yes.
And mind you, throughout my life, I was still not able to hear like very accurately.
Very
I
clear.
still had
Yes.
that, yes, I still had that moderate hearing loss. And you can imagine there are some people that have small voices, and it's not quite easy for me to
To
hear what
hear
they're saying.
those. Yes.
Yes, but despite that, I was
Mm.
still challenging myself to do the best that I could do. So
Yes.
I was always striving to be an excellent performer. I remember after choosing to take ADMA,
Mm-hmm.
the few tests that I wrote, I can say there's one test that I wrote for the very first time and I scored 70%. And it was really self-taught, and of course with some help from my brother.
Yes.
I have my brother in Namibia who is studying civil engineering. He really
Oh,
helped me with that
you
last.
better bring him on this channel. I would love to speak to him.
All right, not a problem. I'll get in touch with him.
Please, please, yes,
Yes, so he taught me calculus and I became good because of him.
yes,
Yes. So the very first test I wrote gave me 70%, which was okay for the first time. And then the second time was bad, really
yes.
bad. I got like a 54%. And I thought to myself, okay, I think I've made a terrible mistake. I shouldn't be taking ADMA right now. Otherwise, the sciences and maths and other subjects were okay for me. Although not so much on the social sciences. I don't know. I had challenges with social sciences, history,
Yes.
and geography. Yeah. So,
And you know what? Just to say something on there, most technical people who are technical, they say they struggle a lot in. One of them is English written, spoken, and
yes, yes.
I actually one of them English was not my best, and
Mhm.
it changed me when I went to college. That's another story. I have to because one professor gave me a C in my English language. And I was so pissed. I
Oh.
was crying. And I went to her. I said, "Why have you done this? I just wrote just like the other person you gave B." She said, "Kirsten, you're leaving a lot of holes in your comprehension, in your writing."
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand what holes are
Mm-hmm.
until later on in life. But what that
Mm-hmm.
did to me, and then she told me, "You're going to be very good in this subject." I didn't believe. I was
Mm-hmm.
crying. How dare you give me a C? And that was, I think,
Mm-hmm.
English 101 or something like that. But can you
Mm-hmm.
imagine?
Mm-hmm.
Part of my job today is to
Yeah.
evaluate the corrective action plans the
Mm-hmm.
engineers and managers give me, to evaluate them and approve if they are going to work. Can you imagine?
Mm-hmm. Wow,
Now I
that's
can see those
wonderful.
holes when they give me those plans, and I'll be like,
Mm-hmm.
"You're not telling me how this is going to go or how this is going to work." Then I realized,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, what she was
Mm-hmm.
saying really, really is true. But at that time,
Mm-hmm.
we feel like it's something like a hindrance, what she has done. But from there, because of that, it pained me so much. That just initiated like a bomb in me. Like, what is she
Uh-huh.
talking about? Hose.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to slot
Mm-hmm.
that in, not to steal your interview away from me.
No, that was really nice of you. Actually, I also did struggle at some point, but with the right people put in the right place, once you're encouraged, it's pretty much easy to achieve anything. So, like I was saying, we had this teacher that said, pound, play, pray. The pound
Yeah.
meaning study, the play meaning you don't always have to be on the book. Sometimes you need to relax, do something that you enjoy, and then pray. Sometimes we need to seek spiritual guidance from above. So, coming
Yes.
back to my high school, it was really interesting. It was really interesting, but somehow I made it through
Yes.
my entire high school. And I was talking about ADMA not performing really well in the other paper. For some
Yes.
reason, the lady that was Mrs. Tonga then decided to have a word with my mom, and she
Uh-huh.
said, she can actually perform really well at the final exam. So when
Really?
mom gave me that feedback, I was really surprised. I was asking myself, but I've gotten 54%. This doesn't look promising.
Yes.
Yeah. And the final exam came, and there's that time before the exam where you have to sign up for the subjects you're going to write.
Yes.
So when I was signing up, I had to take a minute to think about it, to really think about it. Like, Kutemwa, are you going to sign for ADMA or not? Do you want the results to look like distinction, distinction, distinction? Then the last one is saying fail. So I didn't want that.
Yes.
But by the grace of God, I still went ahead, signed for
And
it.
signed it up.
Yes, and I sat for the exam. the exam was also another interesting part for me because I finished so early. My friends were still writing. I'm looking around me. Everybody is still writing, and these
Yeah.
guys started before me. What's happening? So I went through my work like 3 times, and it almost became frustrating. So I asked if I could leave the exam room early and submit my paper, of which I was allowed to. And
Yes.
I just told myself, you know, God, I've done my part. It's your turn now.
It's your turn. Yeah.
Yeah. hmm And it's in high school that I actually first understood the word
Mm.
engineering.
Really? Yes.
And yes, I had no idea what engineering was about. It was just a word that used to come by, but I never really knew what it was about. I knew that someday I would enter a science field. I
Mm-hmm.
think some of my family members expected me to do medicine, but I was not exactly passionate about medicine. I think I wanted something that could marry with mathematics.
Mm-hmm.
So when these people came from the United States of America, they
Mm-hmm.
came to David Kaunda for a career talk, and
Yes.
this man says, engineering, what is engineering? Engineering is all about problem solving. So I paused for a minute. I was like, what? Then he
Just
says it
problem solving?
again. Yeah, like just problem
Yeah, like that's
solving.
piece of cake.
I know, right? So it got me really interested. Like, okay, this is about problem solving. Let's hear more about it. So I stuck during that career stock, and it was the first time I ever entered a career stock like that, like
Yes.
willingly and wanting to know more about that. So he said it's about problem solving. Then he said there are different types of engineering. There's this type of engineering and this, you know, that
Yeah.
language that they use. They
Uh-huh.
sound like machines when they are talking.
Yes.
So it got me really excited.
Uh-huh.
But people still thought that I would do medicine.
Yes.
Now, coming back to additional mathematics, I
Mm-hmm.
said I wrote an exam which I thought was too challenging for me,
Yes.
right? And I came to discover that I actually scored a distinction in additional mathematics. And that was so exciting for me. I shared with my parents, and I was literally shivering when I was looking at my results.
Wow.
But yeah, they were so happy for me. At the time, I was doing A levels,
Mm-hmm.
although I didn't exactly finish my A levels there because I had applied for the University of Zambia
Mm-hmm.
where I was accepted.
Wow.
Another interesting thing in my journey is I was going to the University of Zambia when I was as young as 16.
Wow.
So the main reason why I got a national registration card really was because it was needed in my
It was
application
needed,
form.
yes.
Yeah. So went to the University of Zambia, went through natural sciences. At some point, I was so worried. I didn't know if I was going to make it because of finances. I was not
Yes.
sure about the financial state of my parents at the time, but they still encouraged me. They still encouraged me and told me, you don't have to worry about anything. All you need to do is focus on school. Give us the grades, we'll look for the money and pay for your school. And
Yes.
that's how I just started progressing and progressing. I decided to take electrical engineering, and I majored in electrical machines and power. So many people.
Amazing. Amazing. Girl, you are a rock.
Thank you. So are you.
Yes.
Yeah. So many people think that those people that go into Bang are tough people, like difficult people. Like these guys are literally thinking about numbers. But no, I'm not like that. I'm not like that. I'm a bit flexible. You know, you can talk to me about anything.
Yes.
Yes. So
Wow.
I gained quite an experience when I was at the University of Zambia. I had the privilege of serving as Vice Secretary for the University of Zambia Engineering
Oh,
Society.
really? Yes.
Yes, so I represented the students when they had issues. They
Mm-hmm.
would come to us and talk about different things. And with my story about the hearing aids, the hearing loss, I always look back and tell my colleagues to say, you know, if I can come this far, I think you can do better. You can do far
Yes.
much better than I am doing right now. Yes. So I don't know if I've answered your question.
You have answered the question. Oh my God, very interesting. Your story is so interesting. For me, electrical engineering, I loved it so much, but oh my goodness, I could not pull through, get like a higher grade. I could have gone into it was very interesting. But oh my goodness, I had a hard time. Just like you were saying, she went into computer. She went. So can you imagine in engineering, we have different interests right there
Yes,
inside.
that's true.
This one will be
Hmm.
passionate about math, and there are people, engineers, who or just they've gone for mathematics. Those are the
Yeah.
people who calculate a lot of flight things. I think they mix it with physics, and they calculate a lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
flight space missions. So we are
Hmm.
different how we get gifted into engineering. So to hear your story, it's really, really interesting and just
Yes.
amazing. So you also added some of your challenges, but what are some of your challenges today? For example, I'll give you some of my challenges when I was at school was to even when we're making meeting groups, boys knew how to speak their language. Oh, ah, I'm with you. Yeah, we're gonna, but and then you're just watching. They would group themselves up already, but for you to go there, it's like you have to prove yourself that you can do something, right? Like you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
bring something to the table. But I don't know if that notion was just us women, we think like that, or because you could feel the temperature, right? Like you could tell how what it's actually they mean. Maybe we are
Hmm.
wrong, but
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
what are some of your challenges that you have faced up to today? And the other one I can also give you, it's like when you're talking in presence of men, they are talking. It's like you have to say
Hmm.
something like so many times because it's either they are not hearing you, our voice, what I'm trying to say is, and then they are talking on top of talking on top of you. So, what are some of your
Yeah.
challenges? Could you share with my viewers?
Okay. To start with, I think I'll start with the fact that, it was not so easy for me to learn when I
Yes,
literally couldn't hear a thing. That was one of the biggest challenges I had to face. But
yes,
good enough, I've had people support me and I've taken all the necessary measures just to make sure that everything is in check. And
yes,
then, yes, it's true, we have certain cases where the males want to dominate, you know.
yes.
I remember when I was class representative in my second year, there are some people that would say, this field is for males, so the class rep has to be a guy. So I was like, no, guys, come on. I mean, even the Bible says that God created a woman so that she could be a helper. We are not
Yes.
saying we want to dominate, but we would love to help make
To
this world a
help, to be part
better
of the
place.
thinking tank, to be part of the table.
Exactly,
Yes,
exactly. And I think it's been proven that women can actually make different things so much better than they are now. For example, it's just an example. Look at a store. Maybe it has all sorts of things scattered around. You would almost think that this store belongs to a man. But then if
yes,
a woman comes in, even though it's not a P1 thing, the first
yes.
thing she might think about is, let me put this store in order so that
Mm-hmm.
the place looks more presentable. So you see, women they beautify our lives, you
Yes.
know? Yeah. So that was those were some of the challenges. But then, sometimes people used to look at me with a lens of authority or a lens of leadership.
Yeah.
So a number of times they have actually given me that respect.
Mhm.
And I'm really grateful to each one of them. I
Yes.
don't know, maybe it's because of my voice. I have a very strong voice, so I'm heard at times. Yeah, I guess God just blessed me that way.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And as of today, like I mentioned, I'm working with First Quantum Minerals at Kansanshi Mine. I'm
Yes.
actually learning a lot. There are
Yeah.
quite
It's
a
a
number of
learning curve. It's a
challenges.
learning process.
That's true. And it's not just about learning the technical stuff. It's
Hmm.
also about learning the people. How do you
Hmm.
interact with them? How do you work with them? Do you listen to them? Do you understand them? So STEM is not just about technical stuff.
Yeah.
It's actually much more than that, because
It's
even
fun.
science,
It's fun.
yes, it's fun. Even scientists study
Yeah.
behavior, and for you to study behavior, you actually have to look at people. So
Yeah.
it's quite interesting. Yeah. So I guess apart from the technical problems, there'll always be people problems, but we always have to learn to listen to each other and understand each other. Whenever I had a challenge, say in school, if I could, I would
Hmm.
ask for help from those that are good at it. My
Yeah.
strategy was, when I see that I'm weak at something, I'll look for someone who is good in that area so that I can also work on that, you know. But more often than not, like the example you gave on group studies, if I
Hmm.
go in a group study, I am barely learning something from people. Most of the time, people want to learn something from me. So it was kind of a drawback for me. So group studies were not exactly my thing. For some
Yeah.
reason, I wouldn't spend, say, more than 30 minutes continuously on a book. I do not know why. So I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
Same like me. Even sitting on the table, even today. Sometimes I even
Oh,
want to warn my employers. I'm like, I can't sit for a long. I need to break. But when I come and work, sit at that, I will really, really produce. So because some people would
yes.
sit. So it's how we figure these things out.
Yeah, yeah. So I believe that we are gifted differently. So
Yeah.
not everybody actually has to sit down and study continuously for 5 hours. Some of us had to study for less than an hour or 30 minutes at max. Like there's a point where my brain goes in overdrive. I have to take a break and do something else, then come back.
Yes.
Yeah. So that has been my journey basically. Oh, and by the way, I also graduated from the University of Zambia. That was in 2020 with a
Oh,
merit. We were four of us with merits, and I was the only lady.
whoa, definitely. Women in STEM.
Yes, exactly. And one thing that I really looked forward to at the time I was in school was the one gift that mom told me she was going to give me if I finish my undergraduate program. And it's something so tiny, just Tinkerbell over there.
Wow, it's like an angel.
Yeah, it's just a souvenir.
Oh,
Yeah, so sometimes it's nice to have something to look up to, something to look out for. And not forgetting my dad as well. He's really been supporting me. He would do everything possible to make sure that I have all the things that I needed for school. I'm just glad to have come from such a home where my
yes.
parents could actually support me. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. That was an interesting story. Thank you so much for sharing that. And the other thing I also wanted to add on what you said, one of the things, because I went to the university when I was a little bit, of course, maybe you say older, after 40. So my cousin, she was at Harvard University. She's now in Amsterdam. She said the
Okay.
first thing you do when you go to your university, find out who does very well. When you write the first exam, find out who are those students that can be your friend. And that's what I did. The first thing, the exam we wrote, I have to look for those that score higher. And those are my
Mm-hmm.
friends. Because you have to understand, how do they think? How
Yeah.
do they think like that? How are they able to execute all those tasks that they are given? Where are they getting their resources? So that is very important in a student's life, and just those that are trying to pursue STEM, even any other career. You really mentioned a lot of points that could help us, and that resonate with me, and it also resonates with a lot of engineers that have been here. You mentioned about
Mm-hmm.
curiosity, support system that's around you, and also just yourself pushing so hard to get to another level. And that still continues even when you are working. And also,
Yeah.
one thing I also resonated that you mentioned is, regardless of who's around you, it doesn't matter, even if there are men around you, you just be you and just execute what you are given to do. That's really, really
Yes.
excellent. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah,
Good.
thank you so much. And
Yeah. Hmm.
from what you're just sharing, it reminds me of the time I was at the University of Zambia.
Yes.
Uh, in my first year, I was known for one thing and one thing only. I always ask questions. I
Yes.
always ask questions, especially in mathematics. So one young lady once walked up to me and said, "You know what? I don't know what your name is,
Eh,
but from now onwards, I'll call you. Excuse me, sir. I have a question." Because she
so
knew that
interesting.
I would always ask questions. It
Wow.
was quite interesting.
Wow, that's interesting. So, what would you say to a girl growing up here, for example, in United States? Even United States, we've got remote areas. The resources are not well distributed everywhere, that in the cities, and just like any other country. So, what would you say to a girl growing up here in remote areas, in Zambia, in remote areas, those that want to pursue STEM? What would you say to them?
To begin with, I would say that you have to believe in yourself. Sometimes not everyone is going to believe in those dreams that you're trying to achieve. So it's very, very important that you believe in yourself. And then, secondly, you must be very determined.
Mm-hmm.
I explained earlier that I had my own share of challenges. I could have given an excuse to say, you know what, I can't do this because this is a challenge that I'm facing. But
Mm-hmm.
no, I didn't give up. I told myself it's much better for me to try than
Mm-hmm.
to not give it a chance at all.
Yeah.
So trying is worth everything. You need to try. If it doesn't work out in one way, try another way. At least you know one way in which it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
So I would really love to encourage them that they should never give up. They should be determined. If they have people that are there that love and care about them, their
Mm-hmm.
parents, for example, like I mentioned, I'm really like entirely grateful to my parents and to my brothers, because my
Mm-hmm.
brothers, each of them are also in the engineering profession. We have my brother Bright, who's working as an IT engineer. Then the second one is I think electronic and computer engineering in Germany. He's studying out there. And then the third one, civil engineering in Namibia. And my parents, Mr. Kezia Mwandila and Mrs. Charity Kafula Mwandila, I'm entirely grateful to each of those people because of the way they decided to shape me, the advice that they gave me, the mentorship, and of course, like Tehila mentioned, she talked about
Yes.
mentors, how
Yeah.
important it is to have mentors in your life. So I have those people that always looked out for me, some of my lecturers, my teachers, and my pastor as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm entirely grateful to them. So they should never forget where they are coming from, and they should never give up. There's nothing that is impossible under the sun. I
Wow.
believe that there's nothing that is impossible under the sun.
Wow. Oh my God. Kutemwa,
Yeah.
thank you so much. I enjoyed your story. And please
Thank you.
tell your brothers I want to have all of you guys in one because my sister and my brothers too, we are all in STEM. So there's a
Oh,
video, you
that's
should see it,
amazing.
you should watch it. But so I'm trying to see if I can bring them again so we can have that conversation. But I'll tell your brothers that I would love to have you guys, the whole four of you, from I don't care where you are,
Okay.
but we can still be there. So we can just
Okay.
discuss and hear more. I think that would be really interesting.
That would be really nice. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Oh my God, I really do appreciate. So, I hope to see you soon. I'll definitely get in touch with you so we can do that session. And thank you
Not
so
a
much for
problem.
coming. And I enjoyed your story of STEM. And continue what you're doing and go get your gold.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wow. Guys, thank you so much. Oh my God, that was interesting. I've always wanted to talk to Temwan finally. I spoke to her. That was interesting. So guys, you can see all these role models we are showcasing. I really, really enjoyed all their stories. I hope you did, guys. Make sure you engage us. Tell us. Guys, I have another one, Chilombo. She's about to come in. I'm just waiting for her to come in. She's already here. So we can speak to her and find out more about what she's doing. Wow. Guys, we are here to encourage girls to pursue science and technology. We are here to showcase all these role models that are pursuing STEM. So let's also read to what Isaac Male Melo is saying. Inspiring story, Tehila. You have a lot of girls in the society that are waiting for your encouragement and guidance. Let's see, in software engineering, Girls for STEM USA. Yes, we like showcasing these women just to show other girls, other women who are also pursuing science and technology, so they can see that, the challenges that we go through, some of the things that we experience, and just to see that how we navigated the STEM. The reason why do I bring this to for us to talk about this? It's because when I was in at the university, I stumbled, guys. I really stumbled. I never saw anyone who looked like me, anyone who was in front of me like me, who was either working or just pursuing this career. So it was very intimidating to understand, what am I doing? Will this even make sense? And then, I could see people are rallying, oh, you're doing engineering. I was like, don't even talk. It was quite very hectic and stressful. And that's why, guys, we are here to showcase these women, women of valor, so we can see exactly, what they are doing, how they are navigating their STEM. Wow, thank you, Kutema. It was amazing to have you. So we are waiting for Chilombo. If Chilombo can make it, she's here already. Oh, yeah, so she's just trying to get ready. I'll bring her up soon. Her name is Chilombo Sakahundu. So let's bring her up, guys. Guys, engage us, guys. Ask questions, make comments. Share with your friends that all the engineers. Let's come and discuss. We have a very good visitor here. Hi, how are you? Thank you so much, Chilombo, for coming. I'm so excited. I think we need to have your name there. Your name is not showing. Oh, there it is.
My
Chilombo Sakahundu.
yes.
Yeah, I almost butchered your name. Please make sure you charge me.
Yes, definitely. I'm going to charge you.
Thank you so much, Chilombo.
Nice to
I
meet
know you
you.
were busy, but you made it. Thank you so much for coming. I was waiting. I'm like, I'll wait for her until she come. I'm wait for her. Thank you so much for coming, Chilombo. I really do appreciate. So, guys, let's dive into Chilombo to know what she's doing. So, Chilombo, share with my viewers, what are you doing? And what did you graduate? Have you graduated? Are you a student? Are you working? So, share with my viewers.
So, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you are watching from and what time you see this video. So, my name is Chilombo Sakahundu, as I have been introduced. So, I'm still a student currently. I'm a student of geomatic engineering at the University of Zambia, and I'm also an advocate for STEM. We all know what STEM is: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So my journey in STEM started
probably like 2018. But even in high school, I was interested in science, technology, jets. But I wasn't so much active in jets when I was in high school. But my interest grew after high school. So I participated in the first Global Robotics Championship in 2018 and represented Zambia amongst my team. We represented Zambia, competed against about 188 countries over the world. So the competition was in Mexico City, and Zambia emerged as 78 out of those countries. So we built a robot from there. I think that's where my involvement in STEM roots from. Yes, so that's a
Wow.
brief introduction.
Wow, amazing. Guys, she's in STEM. She's a student in STEM. And let's see how she's navigating STEM. Thank you so much, guys. Involve her, engage her. Guys, if you have questions, ask questions. So, Chilombo, I know you are already in STEM right now. You are going to school. Tell me what happened when you were little. Let's go back to when you are 5. What's going on in your life there? Are your parents talking about STEM on the table? Do you have brothers? Or do you have neighbors talking about STEM? What's going on over there?
Okay, so 5, I was very young. So
Yes,
5, my father is an engineer. My late mom was a librarian.
yes,
So I don't think we had so many discussions around STEM. I think they gave me the freedom to choose what career I wanted to be in. But like, you know how other girls are given maybe say Barbie dolls. Of course, I used to play with Barbie dolls, but
yes,
my father used to buy me like Lego toys, like construction toys. So I think that triggered a bit, but from a young age, I didn't think I would be in STEM actually. When anyone asked me, like, Chilombo, what do you want to be when you grow up? I actually didn't even know I would think of accounting. At some point, I wanted to be an accountant. I would think of law. But then
yes.
at the back of my mind, well, usually when I grow up, I want to be someone who helps other people. So it was always I want to help people, and like the people I was usually inclined to are people like refugees. So in my mind, I was like, I want to help refugees now. I wondered to myself, what career is going to direct me towards refugees? So fast forward, when I was older, it was still I want to help people. So STEM, I think, came into the picture in high school. So me getting involved in STEM and having the interest for science came in high school. Yes.
Wow, wow, that's so interesting. So, when you are at high school, you already understand what STEM is already by that time? I think you're muted.
Sorry, I
Ye-
didn't get your question.
Yes,
Can
so
you
I was
repeat?
saying, when you're in high school, you already understand what STEM is by that time, or what's engineering when you're in high school.
Yes, I did understand part of it, but I think in Zambia, the concept of STEM is something new. Not so many teachers talked about it. Of course, we understood the concept of engineering. There's a discipline called engineering. So, yeah, I did understand what engineering was in high school.
Wow, that's so good. So now, what are some of the challenges that you faced now that you are already in STEM? By that time you are getting into STEM, are there a lot of women in your classes, or are there a lot of challenges that you're going through? I think you're muted one more time. Okay, yeah.
I think it keeps muting and unmuting.
Yeah, I think it's muted one more time.
It's unmuted now. You were saying?
Yes, I was saying, what are some of the challenges that you faced when you decided to now be in STEM?
Challenges. I think it has to do more with guidance. I think more career talks would have helped.
Mm-hmm.
More people coming to explain to us what STEM is, go into detail. So I think pretty much just that. And then also, we're not so many girls in the engineering field, but I think now we're balancing up. And then also we have the mentality that guys it's a guy's field. So usually when you're a girl in that field, it's like, okay, so how should we relate to you? Yeah, so I
Yes.
think those have been the challenges. Yeah. And then not so, in as much as we said gender equality, we want the men to be supportive of us female engineers or females
Yes.
in STEM. I think it's more theoretical than practical. I think to some 50%, not so many men support, but recently, over the past few years, I'm happy to see that more men are supporting women and we can see the gender balance. Yeah.
Wow. I like the point that you made that a lot of men are supporting STEM. Yeah, they are aware because before, remember, due to inclination of that women just have to be in the kitchen, women can't do STEM. So a lot of men believed that way, but now they know we are just like peers, you know. They also know that we can do just as much as them. And that's very true. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. It really resonated with me. Even now, you know, in the workplaces, now they are more acceptable. They accept women. They are more helpful. Even when you're talking, they'll be like, "Oh, let's hear what she was saying," because they want to know
Yes,
your
yes.
perspective and things like that. So yeah, that's very interesting. So, what would you say to a girl growing up in rural areas? I know you're a STEM advocate. You know, there are those kids that don't have privilege, but they are mesmerized by the technology. Maybe they see a plane passing through, or they see a drone, or they see, you know, something that's technical, but they don't know how to go about it. What can you say to them? How can they enter into STEM?
So I'll get back to an experience that I had last week. So last week, I was a trainer for an Arduino kit for an all girls in ICT event that was held
Wow.
here in Lusaka. Yes, the Elementals Hotel. The
Uh-huh.
sad thing that I noticed was, I would say 90% of the girls did not know how to operate a computer, basic turning it on, turning it off. And
Wow.
then it was, yes, it was very sad. And most of them didn't know what the concept of STEM was. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
know just basic computer terms. So it was
Yes.
very sad. And one thing that I taught them was, don't let your situation disadvantage you. Of course, they came from schools that
Mhm.
don't have basic facilities like an ICT room, a computer lab. So I think even with the government, I think they should reach out to such communities, such
Mhm.
rural areas, even with just one laptop, one computer,
Yeah.
and teach, because we're moving into the digital world. It doesn't matter. You
Mhm.
want to be a lawyer, you want to be a teacher, any other career requires you to have basic knowledge in STEM, basic knowledge in ICT. It could be basic writing, Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, creating a PowerPoint presentation. You need basic skills. So it was very sad to know that. What I told them was, don't let your situation disadvantage you. Um, Let the little girl in you dream. Just as much as we say guys should prevail more in STEM, or the field is male dominated, whatever a
Yes.
man can do, a woman can do. So young girl, young child, dare to dream. The world is yours. Yes.
Wow. Wow.
So
That's so, you know, it strikes me, you know, I feel very, very, you know, sad. And, you know, that's why we should be able to help out to, you know, some of these schools or kids that are interested in STEM to see how we can help us. So let's talk about that, Chilombo, later on. I'll definitely get in touch with you. You know, we really need to support, to help those girls so they can be exposed, because that's the only way they can understand, because technology is evolving so fast. So, and there's so much knowledge to be learned, you know, as you go on, to be able to do a lot of things, especially in future. That's really, really very, very important. Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. So, the other question I wanted to also ask to say is, did you have a role model when you are in school, or somebody that you look up to, or anyone who has helped you where you are right now? Could you share with my viewers?
I think my biggest role model was my late mom, may her soul rest in peace. In as much as she wasn't in the STEM field, I think I wouldn't be here without her. I think I looked up to her. She was a very hardworking woman. So, in as much as I'm in STEM and she wasn't, I think just that background of her being around gave me motivation to keep going, to do greater, and to say, okay, I can achieve everything that I put my mind to.
Wow, wow, that's so interesting. And that's why we showcase this
I lost you for a minute
platform so
here.
that people can see that there are so many role
Sorry,
models
I lost you.
out there.
I
I'm
lost
sorry?
you. I lost you for a minute. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was saying that's why we showcase, so many role models here so they can see that there are so many, people pursuing these careers so they can be encouraged. Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. So, Chilombo, I'll give you a few minutes. What can you say to girls for STEM here on this platform, women pursuing STEM, and just, what I'll give you like 2, 3 minutes to just talk about anything that you are comfortable with.
If you can repeat your question, sorry.
Oh, I was saying, I'll give you 2, 3 minutes to whatever you can say to girls for STEM, whatever you can share, and also anything that you want to communicate to the young people coming up, or those students, or even the workforce, whatever you want to say.
I think my message to the younger ones watching would be don't limit yourself. There are so many opportunities in STEM. Dream bigger than the sky, above and beyond. The world is yours. You can do anything and everything that you put your mind to. I think that's the short message I would have for everyone. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much for coming, Chilombo. I know you've been busy, but you finally made it. I really, really do appreciate. And, I know,
Thank you.
we get so busy with so many things to do. I really do appreciate. And I hope you can visit us again, so we can see, what's
Definitely.
going on in your life. Please, please come again on this channel. And thank you so much. So, guys, we've come to the end of the show. Hope to see you again, guys.
Oh,
Engage this. Go ahead.
there was actually another project that I'm part of that I would like to share with
Yes, please.
anyone and everyone who's watching from Zambia. So I'm also a business developer at a new tech academy here in Lusaka called Tech IQ. So we're
Wow.
offering full stack programming courses, both front end and back
Mm-hmm.
end to people in the public. So it's like the 4 month programming course that's offered at universities has been condensed into 12 months. And then also because we've acknowledged the fact that it starts with the young ones. If you want to drive change, start
Mm-hmm.
with the young ones. We're also offering Python for kids. So that's web development and software development for kids in the ranges of 5 to 15 years. Yes. So the academy is called Tech IQ, located in Olympia, Lusaka.
Wow. Guys, make sure you participate in what she's saying. They're saying they're offering courses in starting from what age of the kids?
From 5 to 15 years, and then the full stack course is going for from 18 years up to whoever is willing to enroll.
Yeah, that's the chance for you guys to get into STEM and learn some of those skills. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. We really do appreciate. So, guys, we've come to the end of the show. Thank you so much. Hope you can come again next Saturday. We have exciting things all the time. And Chilombo, we're going to invite you again so we can talk more about what you're doing and so you can share with my viewers. Thank you so much.
Definitely. Thank you for having me. Although the meeting has been short, I was looking forward to more questions, but we'll meet again.
We'll meet again and we'll continue. Remember, so keep all the stuff. We have to discuss them next time.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for
Bye,
having me.
guys.
Bye.
Okay, let's see.